Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा शिला प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा. Today, on the occasion of Rath Yatra, we will be singing this beautiful song by Sala Bega on the Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra pastimes, where he's requesting Jagannath to not go further on his Rath and wait for him. And I think this year exactly that has happened. Jagannath is still there on his Rath. He is not moved. And soon today we will see how Jagannath will move on his Rath. जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई तुम्भा श्री चरण बिनु अन्य गति नहीं तुम्भा श्री चरण बिनु अन्य गति नहीं जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई सातस पंचाश कोश चालीना पराई मोह जीव जाए नंदी घोषे थी बराही सातस पंचाश कोश चालीना पराई मोह जीव जाए नंदी घोषे थी बराही मोह जीव जाए नंदी घोष थी वराही जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई रथ चारी पासे लंबे मुकुतार झारा झलमल दिसू थाई प्रभु चकडोळा रथ चारी पासे लंबे मुकुतार झरा झलमल दिसू थाई प्रभु चकडोळा झलमल दिसु थाई प्रभुचा का डोळा जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई बाईसी पाहंच तळे बिखा हुए भात दर्शन तेणिकी ठाऊ कैवल्य मुकुट बाईसी पाहंच तळे बिका हुए भात दर्शन तेणिकी ठाऊ कैवल्य मुकुट दर्शन तेणिकी ठाऊ कैवल्य मुकुट जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई आगे चले बलभद्र मध्ये चांदमुही रे आशुची काळिया पाछे गहळ लगाई रे आगे चले बलभद्र मध्ये चांदमुही रे आशुची काळिया पाछे गहळ लगाई रे आशुची काळिया पाछे गहळ लगाई रे जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई कहे साळ बेगाहीन जाती रे जवन मते आज्ञा है ओ श्री वृंदावन कहे साळ बेगाहीन जाती रे जवन यही माते आज्ञा देहो श्री वृंदावन यही माते आज्ञा देहो श्री वृंदावन जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई तुम्हा श्री चरण बिनु अन्य गति नाही तुम्हा श्री चरण बिनु अन्य गति नाही जगबंधु है गोसाई जगबंधु है गोसाई हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू प्रभु थैंक यू एवरीवन
So wonderful, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. This was a very famous bhajan in Jagannath bhajan in Odia language, but Mataji has sung very nicely. With this, we'll start today's class. Today's class is lesson 95. But before that, the invocation prayers. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं तजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्य च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जयतां सुरतोपङ्गुर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बुजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद् बृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद् रत्नाङ्गर सिंहासनस्थितौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ पृष्ठालिनि सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थित दर्शनवेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तु नः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. Now we will offer our obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नमने गौरवती से नमः. O most beneficent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Sa Krishnam Sangopangostra Parsadam Yagge Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting, worshipping the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. नाना शास्त्र विचारण के निपुणं सद्धर्म संस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्य शरण्याकरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजनान आनंदेन मत्तालिकौ वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, and Sri Jiva Goswami and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple Sri Radha and Krishna. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I welcome all the devotees to the today's session. Today's session will be covering will be studying lesson 95. But before that, let us recap what we learned in lesson 94.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and Hare Krishna, all dear devotees. Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, I will make this full screen mode. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So, let us all pray for speedy recovery of Charu Prabhuji's brother who is struggling in hospital. So, may the Lord bless. And may Lord Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra Bai be merciful on them and all of us. Right? So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baldev, Jai Subhadra. So, last week we did chapter 57 and lesson 94, in which Satrajit is murdered, the jewel is returned, and also there is an aspect of Lord Krishna and Balaram being in Hastinapur. So let us recover that. There is a lot of wonderful learnings. In short summary, the chapter in this chapter, when Lord Krishna and Balram they are out of Dwarika, Akrur, Kritavarma, and one more person, they murder. So they conspire, and Satrajit is murdered. The jewel is stolen again, and in that scenario, that brings a lot of grief to Satyabhama. So she goes to Krishna, and then Krishna and Balram they avenge her father's death, and the jewel is finally recovered. Um, Jewel was found in the end with Akrura, and then but Lord Krishna then kindly left the jewel with Akrur, but he showed to the public that the jewel has been recovered and he is not a thief. So he cleared all the misconceptions or the rumors that were spread across. So there are a lot of learnings here. We'll go through those one by one. Starting with this slide, the first slide here. Why did Krishna and Balram go to Hastinapur?
Prabhu, because they heard about, first of all, Krishna heard about the Lakshagriha incident,
Yes.
and saw that they were he heard that the Pandavas were supposedly burnt, but he knew that this was not true. But yet to just pacify all the Hastinapur Vasis, he went there along with Balaram.
Yes, all correct, Mataji. Complete. Yes, nothing left. Yeah, it is always interesting to see how Lord follows the worldly protocol as well in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Leela and here also. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. That's complete answer. Now we proceed. Now the next question. When the Lordships Krishna Balram went to Hastinapur, who did who did Akrur and Kritarma incite to murder Satrajit? Who is that person?
Sattadhanava.
Satyadhan.
Taddanva.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So they instigated him, and then they both conspired, and Satyadhanva he murders Satrajit. Why do we think? Why do we think that Akrur and Kritavarma did that? Why were they so against Satrajit? Although like Satyajit's daughter is married to Krishna. So what are the reasons? That's not on this slide, but if you remember.
Mainly the greed is the reason.
Yeah, Prabhuji, apart from the greed, actually, what is his name? Satrajit promised his daughter to Satrajit. There are a couple of reasons we discussed, right? So
Yes.
one, as Mataji said, it's a greed, but there are other two reasons also. One reason is that Satrajit promised his daughter to everybody. That was the one. Second thing, there was a thinking that Satyajit did not give the jewel when Krishna asked, and he wanted to get that back to him also somehow. And that is the way he found out. And the third one, as Mata says, this is a three I see that reason.
Yes. So um, that's right. That's right, Prabhuji and Mataji. So Satyajit initially did not give the jewel to Krishna when Krishna did request him, and then uh, as per our acharyas and what we discussed also, it seems that Satyajit boasted a lot. So devotees like Akrura and Kritavarma did not like that because they always consider the superiority of Krishna. And then also, on a side note, that Satyajit promised Satyabhama to everyone, so they were all again. So they thought of teaching a lesson to Satyajit and recovering the jewel for Krishna. Right. So, yeah. Now, when Queen Satyabhama realized she is in Dwarka, she comes to know that her father has been killed. What was her reaction? What did she do, and what do we learn from here? Let's see who else can
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, so couple of things are there. Satyabhama, she went because it's not because the love for the father, but relation with the Krishna. One thing, and she wanted Krishna to lament for that one or hanker. I think word used here. That was and this was externally showing that. Somehow also she wanted somehow Krishna has a opulence and she may bring the body back, so that's why she kept the body in oil. So both things were there. She took action to protect his father. I think that is, you cannot deny on that. And Krishna's ability to bring back, that was definitely one part. And second part, that he should follow the normality and hanker for the lament for his
Correct.
demise.
Correct. Yes, Prabhuji. And then the learning here is like how over attachment brings us pain, and then the importance of detachment here.
Excuse
So
me, Father. Prabhuji, can I interrupt here?
yes, yes, Prabhuji, please.
Did you see the red lettering? I showed you that.
Yes.
Satyabhama had multiple mixed reasons in regard to her father. See, her distress, of course, is natural, but at the same time, she did not like her father being inimical to Krishna. So she had a mixed kind of feelings for her father. And that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually points out very clearly at multiple places. See, her distress is underscored by the complex relationship she had with her father, who harbored disdain for Krishna. She wanted to marry with Krishna, but her father had promised her to multiple personalities. So actually, it says that when a father died, there was a kind of mixed kind of relationship. So for the people, they presented a kind of a feeling, but internally they had some reservations about that, about Shatrajit. Okay. Go ahead, now continue.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. So, okay. And then next, the further learnings here in this is how do we act in fear and divine surrender, right? So I will not put this as a question, but I will just walk through this slide quickly that uh, about Shatatanva who murdered Shatrajit. He actually he goes to Akrur and Kritavarma, and they also refuse to give him any shelter because they were like, our intent was to get the jewel, not to kill him in the sleep. That is a very sinful thing. As a Kshatriya, how can you kill someone in sleep? So they refused, and they were also completely aware of the power of Krishna. So Shatadhanva found himself totally isolated and starts running. So that teaches us that we should all be conscious of a higher power and be surrendered. If things do happen, it is always better to surrender to divine and take the protection from them. And then continuing further, next slide 17, which explain now that how Krishna and Balaram they return to Dwarka and then they try to chase Shatadharma, Shatadharma to punish him. So one question here would be, what do we learn? What was Akrura's learning from this whole episode? What did Akrura conclude?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
Akrura learned that severe consequence is faced by who challenge the divine,
Yes.
and we are placed in cosmic order, within the cosmic order, and which reminds us that true power lies beyond human grasp.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very wonderful. Very nice. Yeah. So we are all part and parcel of the Lord. We are not equal to the Lord. So we should not challenge that. We are here to serve the Lord, and that should be our position. So yeah, that was the like earnings of Akrura, his realization and his understanding of the nature of the divine supremacy. So moving ahead now, here like Krishna and Balram, they are chasing um, Shatadharma. Wait, they are chasing, and okay, not a question, but just a point here is Krishna and Balram are chasing. So Balram gets away from another route, and Krishna allows that. Like Balram is separated so that he can extend mercy somewhere. So everything Lord does, there is a reason, purpose, and ultimately people are blessed. So that we will see in the next slide how others are blessed here. And then Krishna finally he is chasing Shatadharma. That symbolizes that Krishna wants to give justice, so he keeps up to his words, which is dharma sanstapana. So always the unjust, he punish them, even if he has to go extra mile and do the extra effort. He comes from Hastinapur all the way back, hearing of the situation. So he's so caring and loving for his family. Being a king and exalted position, he definitely cares for them, and then he's also trying to punish the person who has done injustice. And then continuing with the pastime. So here we saw in the previous slide how Balram ji got separated from Krishna. So where did Balram go and why?
He went to Lord Balaram went to Mithila. He stayed there for a few years, and then he taught Duryodhana the art of fighting with a club.
So like they are both personalities. Like Lord Balaram is the first expansion. So Krishna is always favorable towards Pandavas. Now someone has to maintain the balance. So Balaram is also personality of Godhead expansion. So he gives his blessings and mercy to everyone. So even Duryodhana he gives, so we also have hope. That is the takeaway here, no matter where we are. Okay, and then where did Akrura flee to? Where did he go and hide?
Akrura, I think, fled to Dwarka, Prabhuji. Dwarka.
No, he fled away from Dwarka.
Varanasi,
Sorry.
Banaras.
Yeah, Varanasi.
He went to
Fled away
Banaras.
from there.
And this is so interesting that he has to take shelter from Krishna anyway. Right? He's such a staunch devotee of Krishna, but he has now been
Benares, yeah.
he goes
Varanasi.
so again, all wonderful pastimes of the Lord. We cannot comprehend. We can just chant and get purified. Okay. So now in this section, then finally Krishna wants to get Akrura back. So he's looking for a way to do that. Now, what do the citizens of Dwarka conclude? So they see a lot of disturbance, mental, physical, adhibautic, adhidevic, and all. So what do the citizens of Akrura, of Dwarka think the reason for that, and what do they suggest Krishna?
They thought that because Akrura went in exile, these things are happening. And he must be having some special power.
Yes.
And they requested that Akrura should be brought back.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is like, yeah, so there is a wonderful pastime that is mentioned here. And yes, Sarita also covered last time. So because of that, they suggested that Akrura be brought. Krishna does that.
Prabhuji, in subtle meaning, Krishna arrange all these things because उनको बुलाने का था अक्रूर को कि बहुत क्योंकि वो भक्त थे, बहुत बड़े भक्त थे, तो भगवान उनको रिस्पेक्ट के साथ बुलाना चाहते थे और वो मनी लेना चाहते थे, बताना चाहते थे सबको.
Exactly.
Other meaning also.
Yes. Totally agree. तो योग माया से सब अरेंज करा देते हैं. Yes, Mataji, thank you. Wonderful point. Okay, any other comments on that? Okay. So
Yeah, Prabhuji,
yes, Prabhu.
I think Sharad Prabhuji or Sharad Prabhuji can say, it seems that Kashi was a place where other people also, which were envious to Lord Krishna, played there, because we'll see some other pastime also. Is that true? Other than
Yeah,
Akrura, there were
yeah.
other people also.
In a way,
Yeah.
Banaras, Kashi at that time was dominated by Mayavadi philosophers.
Okay.
So there was a little tension between Krishna and the people, especially the scholarly people in Banaras, and that was one of the reason Akruraji actually chose there, and also
Hare Krishna. Cannot hear Prabhu. Is that only me?
No, Prabhuji, we cannot hear.
We cannot hear.
Sarah Prabhu?
Oh, you couldn't hear me? Could you?
Ah,
You
yes,
couldn't hear?
Prabhu.
We
Now
lost
we
you
are
for a
hearing.
minute.
We lost for some time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Um, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Prabhu.
yes.
No, very good.
Okay. Continue, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Radhavendra Prabhu, you're okay?
Yeah, I think that's what Prabhuji gave correct answer, because we see some other pastime where a lot of people played in that place, and we'll see at later on also. So that he says very correctly, all Mayavadis were, that was the place for them, and Akrura choose to go there. It was, she should not have gone, but being a devotee. But anyway, that was
It's a
that's what
long
we see.
history. It's a long history, because it went all the way to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time also. It was dominated
Yes.
because it's a Jnana-based domination was there in Banaras.
Yes,
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah.
there are other notorious activities also which Lord Shiva, he fought with Krishna there in Kashi to save the king of Kashi, and then Lord Shiva, he ran away to Bhubaneswar in Odisha. That story is there. All these stories there around Kashi only.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Wonderful question. Thank you, Prabhu. So now Akrur is back, and now Krishna welcomes him. It is not like he is upset. He is welcoming him with proper honor and greeting Akrur with sweet words, as Mataji said. Akrur is a very real devotee to the Lord, so Lord also cannot stay without the devotee. He got him back. Now, what was the request that Krishna makes to Akrur? What did Krishna request Akrur? If somebody can.
Krishna requests Akrur to show that money, jewels to others, so that जो उन पर आरोप लगा था वो उनको वो दूर करना चाह रहे थे, और वो उनको ज्वेल्स जो था वो दिखाना चाह रहे थे सबको. उन्होंने ऐसे बोला कि मुझे ये क्या कहते हैं, ये मुझे जो है एक बार डायरेक्ट नहीं बोला कि आपके पास आप दीजिए. उन्होंने कहा उसको उनको अक्रूर को कि बलराम सोचते हैं कि अब वो आपके पास नहीं है, लेकिन आपके पास है तो मैं इन लोगों को बाकी को पीपल्स को दिखा सकूं, और जो उन पर जो लगा था आरोप उसको सिद्ध कर सकें. और फिर ये था कि उन्होंने ये भी बोला कि सत्रजीत के कोई लड़का नहीं है, पुत्र नहीं है, तो वो जो है ज्वेल्स उनको सत्यभामा को दिया जाए, ताकि उनके जो बच्चे होंगे, उनका पुत्र जो होगा वो उनका श्राद्ध वगैरह ये सब चीजें वो कर सकता है. तो इस तरीके से उन्होंने बोल के कि ये उनको दी जाए, दे देते हैं, सत्यभामा को, तो वो उन्होंने अक्रूर से बात किया।
It's wonderful, Mother. You covered all the points. So Lord explained about the inheritance, the legacy, and also the through all this how he cleared all the doubts in the mind of people. Thank you, Mother. Okay. So in conclusion, throughout the chapter we read again it's a very unique, interesting, and different pastime of the Lord. The jewel is taken away, then how there is aspect of revenge, uh, insight, inciting for wrongdoing, but then there is fear, and then how in fear those who take shelter of divine, what happened to them, those who don't take shelter of divine, what happened to them, and finally Krishna is always all merciful to his devotees and takes the just and the right decision. There were three questions Prabhuji had put together. I think we covered all three, but let me recollect. What specific action did Satyajit take that initially drew envy and manipulation of Akrura and Kritavarma? So we covered that. He promised his daughter to many. He was boasting about the jewel, and he did not give the jewel to Krishna when Krishna requested. Then second question, how did Shamantak jewel protective quality become overshadowed by a tragedy surrounding in the eyes of the community? Yeah, this is an important aspect again. No matter what material opulence we have, if that is not used for the service of the Lord, and if it is to fulfill our own material lust or material desire, then that very same thing will not have any protective qualities. Rather, it can become a reason for our problem. Right? So the protective qualities of Shamantak jewel became overshadowed by the tragedy as the community witnessed the consequence of Satyajit's pride and the resulting murder. So this shift in perception illustrates how material possessions can quickly lose their revered status when associated with negative events, leading to a collective cautionary perspective on wealth and divine. So we should be cautious about that. What step did Queen Satyabhama take after her father death to deal with her grief and to support her relationship with Krishna? So Prabhuji just highlighted how there was a stress between her and her father's relation because her father was not fully supportive of Krishna. There was always certain grudge or uh, not a proper gratitude or attitude towards Krishna, and that's why this was a dilemma for Queen Satyabhama. But she was very clear; she was devoted to Krishna, so immediately she went to Krishna, and we covered that. Okay, so with that we covered the revision. Any other
प्रभु जी एक
point?
क्वेश्चन है छोटा सा, मैं पूछ सकती
Yes,
हूँ?
yes, Father. Yes.
प्रभु जी भगवान ने अक्रूर जी को वापस मणि क्यों दे दिया? वो सत्यभामा को भी दे सकते थे, तो वो अक्रूर जी के पास ही क्यों रहा?
I also thought that, but I think
मुझे एक
उनको
ऐसा मतलब एक पॉइंट ऐसा मेरे मन में आया है प्रभु जी, मतलब फिर चारू प्रभु जी करेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि सत्यभामा ने देखा कि ये मणि की वजह से कितने कितने कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो गए हैं लाइफ में उनके साथ ही, तो इससे अच्छा है कि ये मेन, क्योंकि और दूसरा भी एक है कि ये मणि के सामने, भगवान के सामने ये मणि का कोई वैल्यू नहीं है। अगर भगवान ही उनके पति है तो फिर वो मणि क्या चीज है, वो भी सोच सकते हैं। और दूसरा कि ये कितना कॉम्प्लिकेशन से दूर रहे तो अच्छा है, इतनी ये सब झंझट से दूर रहे, वो भी एक पॉइंट है।
I think
प्रभु जी प्लीज।
yeah, there was one more reason also. I think it came for a discussion. Satyabhama children were because you see the hierarchy given, right? How the where the first of all no child to the Satyajit, so it will come to Satyabhama children were young also. I think that logic he gave. That was also one reason, and the second you say obvious reason is that she saw that. But my understanding is that that was also the reason. Children were small, and yeah.
Third reason was also mentioned. Kritavarma was using the wealth from this jewel for the people's good causes. He was using that, not just necessarily for his own purpose. So Krishna recognized that too also, you know. Remember in Banaras, he was using the gold every day that he collected in having large gathering for the religious things,
चाहिए
you
था
know.
तो वो क्लियर हो जाए.
Yeah, so he was using it for good cause actually, you know. So he in a way he admonished privately Akruji what he did was not entirely right, because Shatadwana, what was the name? Shatadhanva, with kind of conspiracy, played a role in that. So that was not very right, you know. So Krishna, in a way, kind of gently kind of admonished privately, but not publicly. It's mentioned in the passage also. Sharadro, you want to add something?
Yes, that is what is the actual answer, Prabhuji. It was for a greater, bigger cause, which was being served by Akrura.
So publicly admonishing him was not in the right cause, you know.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sanjay Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Now we have seen what we learned in lesson 94. Now let us jump into lesson 95. Lesson 95 in chapter 58 of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It has got total of 58 verses. Basically, the theme is Krishna marries 5 princesses. They are very nice stories we'll hear today. The first part, during his visit to Indraprastha, Krishna's interaction with the Pandavas and Kunti Devi in 12 verses 1 to 12. Then Arjuna sporting with Krishna in the Khandava forest filled with fierce animals, the verses 13 to 16 and 24 to 28. And the third theme is key thematic elements and their philosophical significance. We'll see them in greater detail, and how Krishna married the 5 princesses one by one in the verses 17 to 23 and 29 to 57. Then integration of the chapter-wide key thematic elements and their philosophical insights. We'll see them. I am very sure you must have gone through the chapter, that is chapter 58. But just to remind you in very, very brief, I'll tell you the story in 2-3 minutes. Then we'll go through the slides, because the slides, they give very, very important points which are not which do not come out after reading the Srimad Bhagavatam chapters. This is why our classes are very, very special than any other class which are taking place. Okay, I'll go through the story very briefly. This chapter, that is 58, it describes how Krishna married the 5 brides, beginning with Kalindi. Now, please remember that Krishna at that time, he was in Dwarka, and Kalindi or Yamuna was far away. How and why Krishna go there, and in what pretext? This will come up later. What had happened after the Pandavas had completed their 13 years exile, including 1 year in incognito, Lord Krishna went with Satyaki and the other Yadus to Indraprastha. Now the Pandavas there, they met him, they greeted him, embraced him with great ecstasy. And Draupadi, who was there, she was the new bride. She shyly approached Krishna and bowed down before him. And then the Pandavas properly worshipped Krishna and welcomed Satyaki and the other companions who were following Krishna. And Lord Krishna paid a visit to Queen Kunti, and after he had offered his respects, they inquired from each other about their family members. Then Kunti recalled the various miseries Duryodhana had inflicted upon her and her sons, and she remarked that Krishna was the only protector and they got saved because of Krishna only. And she said that you are the well-wisher of the entire universe, and also said that yet even though you are free from all delusion of me, mine, and others, you nonetheless reside within the hearts of everybody as Paramatma. Then Yudhishthira told Krishna, only because we executed many pious activities, pious acts, we are able to see your lotus feet. Then what happened one day, Krishna and Arjuna, they went hunting in the forest, and while taking bath in the Yamuna river, they saw a charming young maiden. On Krishna's request, Arjuna went up to the girl and asked who she was. Why did Krishna send Arjuna? Why didn't he go himself? That we'll learn in the story. Then the beautiful maiden, that is Kalindi, she replied that I am Kalindi, the daughter of the sun god, and hoping to attain the Supreme Lord as my husband. I have been performing severe austerities here. I'll accept no one other than Krishna as my husband. She says, I will remain in the Yamuna living in a house my father has built for me. And after Arjuna reported all this to Krishna, then Krishna took Kalindi onto his chariot, and then three of them they returned to Yudhishthira's residence. Now, later on, what happened? The Pandavas requested Krishna to build them a city, and he did so by asking Vishwakarma, the architect of the demigods, to construct a very attractive palace. And the Lord satisfied his beloved devotees by remaining there for some time. And then to please Agni, the fire god, Krishna arranged to offer him Khandava forest. And the Lord asked Arjuna to burn down the forest and accompanied him as his charioteer. And Agni was so satisfied with the offering that he presented to Arjuna the Gandiva bow, which is very, very famous, with which he fought the Mahabharata war, a team of horses, 4 white horses, a chariot, 2 inexhaustible quivers and armor. And while the Khandav forest burned, Arjuna saved a demon known as Maya from the fire, and Mayadanava then reciprocated by building Arjuna a splendid palace. And in this building, Duryodhana would later get a good drenching after mistaking the surface to be a pond. And you know the whole story. The Mahabharata story started because of that, because he was embarrassed. And next, Lord Krishna took permission from Arjuna and his other relatives and went back to Dwarka with his entourage. There he married Kalindi, and sometime later he went to Avantipura, where in the presence of many kings, he abducted the king of Avanti's sister Mitravinda, who was very much attracted to him. Then in the kingdom of Ayodhya lived a very pious king named Nagnajit, and he had an extremely beautiful marriageable daughter named Satya Nagnajiti. And the girl's relatives had laid down that the stipulation that any person who could subdue 7 ferocious bulls could win her hand. And Krishna went there, he won that, and he married Nagnajiti. Then Lord Krishna manifested himself in, how did he do that? Krishna manifested in 7 separate forms and subdued the bulls. And King Nagrajit, he duly presented his daughter to the Lord. And subsequently, Krishna married Lakshmana after abducting her from the Swayamvar ceremony. And also he married Bhadra. Like this, the story goes. Now, in the very beginning, the first verse, what Sukadeva Goswami says, Krishna went there accompanied by Yujudhana and the other associates. Now, my question to the devotees is, who was Yujudhana? If you remember in the Bhagavad Gita, also first chapter, fourth verse, it is given, Atra Sura Maheswasa Vimarjuna Samajudi, Yujudhana Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha. Now, my question is, who was Yujudhana? I have already told you in the story who all accompanied him, his associates and anybody.
He's brother of Duryodhana, right?
No. When he went from Dwarka, Yujudhana, he accompanied Krishna. So who was this Yujudhana? He was Satyaki only. Satyaki, another name is Yujudhana.
You mean
So,
Satyajit or okay.
okay. Now, Krishna, he went from Dwarka to Indraprastha. Why actually Krishna visited there to give his darshan to the devotees in the Indraprastha, and for the purpose of marrying Kalindi, who had performed severe austerities. Then when the Pandavas, they saw, they welcomed him and all these things happened. And the younger brothers, that is Nakula and Sahadeva, they are younger to Krishna. They offered obeisances to Krishna. Now the question is, as I also told you, Kunti Devi, she also told Krishna that they were suffering. Actually, the Pandavas, they were suffering. Now, why they are suffering? Were they sinful? No. Then why they were suffering? Now, Jiva Goswami, he explains that since the Pandavas they were sinful, the suffering was caused because of separation from Krishna. They were separated from Krishna. That's why they were suffering. And that unhappiness was now vanquished by the Lord's return. And externally, the Pandavas' cousin and their relationship was just like between cousin brothers. And because Yudhishthira and Bhima were externally senior to Krishna, the Lord bowed down at their feet because the Lord was behaving like a normal person in the material world, and he followed all the etiquettes. And he embraced Arjuna because Arjuna was his Sakha, and Nakula and Sahadeva, they offered obeisances to him. Now, I remember one question was asked by Archana Mataji, how Krura is the uncle of Krishna. I tried to find out. In very many places the contradictory things are there, but what answer I came to was Akrura is from the family of the Yadavas, and by that he was related to Vasudeva, his brother, and that's why he was uncle to Krishna. Okay, then I'll go to the next slide. Okay. As Kunti Devi, Kunti Devi recalled the various miseries Duryodhana had inflicted upon her and her sons. She remarked that Krishna was their only protector. She knew that from all the problems she faced, all the miseries, all the difficulties she faced, she and her sons faced, they were saved by none other than Krishna. And there is nobody who is a greater protector than Krishna. This she had realized it, and she used to tell publicly also. And honored by King Yudhishthira, Krishna happily remained as a guest in Indraprastha for several months. Now we will see the important points. The divine protection and guidance. Now, Krishna's role as a protector of the Pandavas, this we saw how Krishna saved them from various things, highlights his divine intervention in human affairs. He always helps, protects the devotees. One who is a non-devotee, he doesn't do much, but still he looks after him like anybody who does not believe in the Supreme Lord. He is also getting free air, free water, and he is able to live in this material world. That mercy of the Supreme Lord is there. And he is depicted as a constant source of support and guidance, assuring the Pandavas of their welfare. This signifies the belief that divine watches over devotees who remain faithful and devoted. The two things very important. We have to be faithful. We have to be devoted to the Supreme Lord. Then we will be able to receive His mercy and recognize His mercy, offering them protection in their times of crisis. When a devotee is in crisis, the Lord helps. There is no doubt about it. Like you have heard about Ambarish Maharaj, how Ambarish Maharaj, he never called for help, called for any help from the Supreme Lord, but his Sudarsana Chakra came and protected him. Like this, the Lord always protects his devotees. Then the point two is devotion and love. Kunti Devi's deep affection for Krishna and her emotional response upon seeing him illustrate the profound nature of devotion bhakti. She was full of bhakti. She knew that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. She is getting all the help from him, and her expressions of love demonstrate that true devotion transcends duty and obligation, underscoring the importance of an emotional connection with the divine for spiritual growth. Now, emotional connection is very, very important. Kunti Devi was connected or attached to Krishna emotionally. You remember in the Kunti Stuti, Nama Pankaja Nabhaya, Nama Pankaja Maline. And now there in that Stuti, even though externally in the material world, by material world connection, she was aunt and Krishna was niece. Still then, she says, Nama Pankaj Angrahaya. That means she is offering obeisances at his lotus feet, even though she was the aunt and Krishna was the nephew, because she had recognized the Supreme Lord as the owner of the complete universe, and all her welfare depended on that. Now, Kunti, as you know, she was the aunt of Krishna. And the third point is recognition of the divine. Kunti's profound acknowledgement of Krishna as the source of all welfare and her recollection of his divine nature serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of recognizing the divine in everybody's life. We should remember that there is a divine force which is ruling this complete universe. We cannot do anything without his permission. Therefore, we should follow all the shastras and the sadhus and the guru. And this recognition fosters humility and surrender, enlightening us and reminding us to seek Krishna in all aspects of life and to maintain faith in his guidance. We have to have total faith. And what about humility? Humility, we should remember what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna. You remember Arjuna's humility. Despite being a very skilled archer and high status, Arjuna never boasted. He simply served the Lord, the Brahmins, as his duty as a Kshatriya, and he was not attached to worldly desires but only wanted to serve Krishna. And this is very, very admirable trait, because today very few people have this strong service attitude. And in the Panchatantra, there is a verse, if you remember, Vidyam Dadati Vinayam, Vinayad Yati Patratam, Patravad Dhanam Apnoti, Dhanat Dharmam Tadat Sukham. That means knowledge gives humility. If one is knowledgeable, it is imperative on him to become humble. And from humility comes worthiness. And from worthiness comes wealth. From wealth arises dharma. And from dharma comes true happiness. That's why this the quality of humility, especially in a Vaishnava, is very, very important. We should remember that we have to be humble, we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord, and we should have a total faith in the Supreme Lord. And if we do that, then we will be very, very successful in our life. Next slide. Now, unity, honor, and love. Now, the mutual respect, honor, and love between the Pandavas and Krishna. Not only the Pandavas, they honored or loved Krishna. Krishna also loved them that much because they were his devotees. Underscore the importance of unity and servitude in both spiritual and worldly endeavors. Now, you see, Yudhishthira, though he was in age much older than Krishna, and in the worldly relationship, he was elder brother, but still he had the attitude of servitude. He was totally surrendered to Krishna. Outwardly, he was behaving like that, and Krishna used to touch his feet, but inwardly, he knew that the Supreme Lord is Lord Krishna, and he behaved like that. This we should recognize. The interactions emphasize that cooperation, loyalty, and mutual support amongst devotees are not just crucial, but also make us feel part of a larger spiritual community, helping us overcome challenges and achieve common goals. Krishna's role as a protector of the Pandavas highlight his divine intervention in human affairs. In human affairs, he also intervenes and he also changes the flow of time. He is depicted as a constant source of support and guidance, assuring the Pandavas their welfare. This signifies the belief that divine watches over devotees. The Supreme Lord is always overseeing his devotees. And if they come into any difficult situation, the devotees are not required to ask for help from the Lord. The Lord automatically will help them. This faith we should have to remain faithful and devoted. That's why we as devotees, we should be always faithful to the Lord and we should be devoted to the Lord. Faithful means we should be depending only on the Lord only and with nobody else. If we think, okay, with respect, we worship Lord Krishna, we know that He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He will save us, He will help us. But let me worship somebody else also, then it won't work. We have to be totally faithful to none other than the Supreme Lord. Then his mercy will come to us unconditionally, offering them protection in their times of crisis, as we have seen in the Mahabharata. During all the times of crisis, they were helped by none other than Krishna. And next point number 5, the nature of reality. Krishna's interactions often reveal the distinction between the material and the spiritual worlds. The Pandavas, while engaged in worldly duties, they are reminded of their higher purpose. Higher purpose, what was their higher purpose? To serve Krishna, to do what Krishna tells them to do. And the transient nature of material struggles, because the material things, material struggles, but they won't last long. This suggests that one should remain focused on spiritual goals and recognize the ultimate reality beyond material existence. Now, for all of us devotees also, we should have our spiritual goal as the final goal, the biggest goal, the ultimate goal, and the other small little goals which we have to achieve in the material world, they are not so important. If we focus on the spiritual goals, then the Lord will help us under all circumstances. And overall, Krishna's interactions with the Pandavas and Kunti serve as the dancing northern lights. Once I speak, I will request Charu Prabhuji to expand on this. He says, my own experience when I lived in the Arctic Circle for both in the summer and midnight sun and in 8, 9 months long winter nights of perpetual darkness. Now, these are the lessons of devotion, divine love, and importance of recognizing the sacred in everyday life. We should remember the Supreme Lord in every moment of our life. And they illustrate that proper protection and guidance comes from deep relationship with the divine. We should establish our relationship with the Supreme Lord, characterized by love, surrender, and mutual support. The narratives encourage the devotees to cultivate strong devotional connection with Krishna, emphasizing that divine assistance is always available for those who seek with a pure heart. If we have a pure heart, then the Lord will help us. And all devotees, they should have mutual support. They should work together. They should not work with cross purposes. And if we work together with a single goal of satisfying the Supreme Lord, then the Lord will be very, very happy. Now, what about the northern lights? Now, through the northern light, though the northern lights they happen throughout most of the year, you can't see them during the daytime. Now, in the Arctic Circle, midnight sun also makes it possible to see them during the summer. But the long, dark nights of winter are perfect for the northern lights viewing. And now, the northern lights, as you know, you would have studied in your schools also, they are known as aurora borealis. And they are electrically charged particles from the sun that smash the Earth's surface magnetic field, and they are funneled down to the magnetic poles of the northern and southern hemispheres, creating a horseshoe shape of excited green and occasionally brown or red particles. And the shape shift over the Arctic Circle, and it makes the skies of the northern Norway a prime place to witness that effect. That is very, very special. Anybody who has gone there only, he will be able to describe. And we'll hear from Charu Prabhuji. Charu Prabhuji, please. Okay, we'll hear from Charu Prabhuji at the end only. Okay, let us go to the next slide. Now, instructive lessons and their answers worth learning. Now, what specific events led to Kunti Devi's deep affection for Krishna? Now, Kunti Devi's deep affection for Krishna can be attributed to several key experiences in her life, including her recognition of his unwavering support during times of hardship, such as the trials faced by her sons due to Duryodhana's hostilities and atrocities. In very many occasions, Duryodhana, he tried to kill Bhima, and then he tried to kill all the Pandavas and Kunti Devi in the Lakshagriha. Like this, there are many, many instances, and Kunti Devi is remembering that they were all saved by Krishna only, and her relationship with Krishna depend through his, that is Krishna's consistent protection and guidance, which instilled a sense of safety and trust in his divine. And because he protected them, the trust of the Pandavas, it increased day by day, and they got nearer to him. And the second question, how did the Pandavas' relationship with Krishna evolve over time? The Pandavas' relationship with Krishna evolved from that of cousins to a profound bond of friendship and reliance. Initially, Krishna acted as a family member, but as the Pandavas faced numerous challenges, he became their mentor, guide, protector. They used to take advice from him to deal with so many situations. And this transformation highlights the importance of divine friendship in overcoming life's adversities. If you have reached that level, you have made a friendship with the Supreme Lord, He will be the first one to help you under all circumstances. And question number 3, in what ways can individuals today cultivate a similar devotion and friendship with the divine as Kunti Devi did? Now, to cultivate similar devotion and relationship with the divine as Kunti Devi did, individuals today can engage in practices such as prayer, meditation, and self-service, that is seva, and building emotional connections through personal experiences, acknowledging divine presence in daily life, and fostering a community like-minded devotees can also enhance one's spiritual journey and devotion. We should get together, the devotees, they should live together, rather they should together they should worship the Supreme Lord and pray to the Supreme Lord. And if somebody faces any hardship, all others, they should pray to the Lord for his welfare. All these things we should remember, and this path encourages humility, surrender, and consistent effort to connect with the divine. These all connecting with the divine. Then we go to the next slide. Arjuna, accompanied by Krishna, ventured into the Khandam forest, known for its dense foliage and fierce inhabitants. Krishna and Arjuna present the Khandam forest as a gift to Agnideva. Now, once Arjuna, the slayer of the powerful enemies, donned his armor, mounted his chariot, flying the flag of Hanuman, took up his bow and his two inexhaustible quivers, and went to sport with Krishna in the Khandava forest. And Krishna was the Sarathi that time also. And once Ekada means that this event took place after the burning of the Khandam forest to be offered to Agnideva as a gift by Krishna through Arjuna. Now, since Arjuna was now using the Gandiva bow, now we learned earlier that Agnideva had presented the Gandiva bow to Arjuna. That means this happened now using and other weapons he had acquired during that incident. That means this happened after that. And with his arrow, Arjuna shot tigers, boars, and buffaloes in the forest, along with rurus, saravas, gavayas, rhinoceros, black deer, rabbits, porcupines. The servants carried to King Yudhishthira the slain animals fit to be offered in sacrifice on some special occasion. And Lord Krishna had first Vishwakarma construct the amazing Indraprastha city for the Pandavas before the burning of the Khandava forest and before the Lord found his bride Kalindi. Now, the assembly hall of the demigods was presented, and then Krishna took away the hand of Kalindi. You will see this sequence of events also. But why Agni wanted to eat the forest with all the animals? This, if I have time, I'll cover at the end. Now, what happened here, as we learned, Arjuna, he killed all sorts of animals there. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains that the Kshatriyas or the warriors, they are allowed to hunt in the forest for several purposes. Now, the first is to practice their fighting skills. Then, or next, to control the population of ferocious animals who are a threat to the human beings. And third, to provide animals for Vedic sacrifices. Now, the killed animals would be given new bodies by the power of the sacrifices. Since priests no longer in the Kali Yuga have that power, the sacrifices would now constitute mere killing, and thus they are forbidden in Kali Yuga. In the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we find that the great Narada Muni severely chastised King Prachina Bharishat for abusing this principle of authorized hunting. In fact, the king had become like a modern sportsman who cruelly killed animals as per his hobby, which was not liked by Narad Muni. That's why he had said. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions that this city was constructed before burning of the Khandava forest, and hence before the Lord found his bride Kalindi. More of it we'll see later on. Now let us go on to the next slide. Agnideva's reciprocation to Arjuna in a grand gesture. Agnideva, pleased with Arjuna's valor, bestowed upon him a bow, a set of white horses, a chariot, a pair of inexhaustible quivers, and armor that no weapon could penetrate. And Krishna, in a show of solidarity, took the role of Arjuna charioteer. The Khandava forest was the domain of King Indra. Indra was dominating that. When Krishna wanted to give it to Agni through Arjuna, Indra did not like it and he fought for it also. Now, Mayadanava presented Arjuna with an assembly hall in which Duryodhana would later mistake water for a solid floor. And this caused Draupadi to laugh at Duryodhana's bewilderment by saying that being the son of a blind king, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana also to turn out blind. And this was one of the main reasons why angry Duryodhana against Draupadi in his attempt to disrobe Draupadi in a full assembly of the Kurus. The chain of events ultimately caused the great war of Mahabharata. Then Lord Krishna, given leave by Arjuna and the other well-wishing relatives and friends, returned to Dwaraka with Satyaki and the other entourage. Now the Supreme Lord, he stayed in that city for some time to please his devotees. And on one occasion, Krishna wanted to give the Khandava forest as a gift to Agni, and so the Lord became Arjuna's charioteer. Now, what are the sequence of events? Now, there are a lot of difference between the acharyas also. Now, Jiva Goswami, he gives the sequence of events as under. He said that he states that first the Khandava forest was burned, then Kalindi was found, then the city was constructed, and then the assembly hall was presented to the Pandavas. I will repeat, first the Khandava forest was burned, then second Kalindi was found, then third the city was constructed, and fourth the assembly hall was presented to the Pandavas. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he differs with this. The order of events given by is the first Vishwakarma, under Krishna's order, constructed the city for the Pandavas. Then the Khandava forest was burned. Then the assembly hall was constructed. That is, assembly hall of the demigods was presented. And then Krishna took the hands of Kalindi. All the things, there is a difference. Then, being very pleased, Agni presented Arjuna with all these things we know. The forest was the domain of Indra, and he did not want it to give to Krishna. Now, remember, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna was not happy with Indra in 3 occasions. These are given in the Bhagavatam. One is this Khandava one, the incident. Then you remember the Govardhan Dharana, Govardhan Leela, and the next we will be learning later on the Parijata incident. In 3 incidents, Krishna did not like, and he had chastised Indra. Go to the next slide. Instructive questions and their answers worth learning. What were the specific reasons behind Agnideva's choice to bestow gifts upon Arjuna after the burning of the Khandava forest? Now, Agnideva chose to bestow gifts upon Arjuna in gratitude for his bravery and commitment to fulfill the fire god's needs. Now, when he started burning the forest, that time Indra he intervened. He started inviting heavy rains there so that the forest does not burn. But ultimately Arjuna he won the battle, and Agnideva was very happy with that. But why Agnideva wanted to eat that forest? That story I will tell you at the end if I have time. Now, by presenting the Khandava forest as a gift, Arjuna demonstrated his valor and willingness to serve Agni, which likely prompted the deity to reward him with powerful weapons and resources for future battles. And as we know, all these weapons they were used in the Mahabharata war, and Arjuna was famous for that. And question number two: how did the construction of Indraprastha and burning of the Khandava forest impact the relationship between the Pandavas and Indra? These two events signify strengthened the relationship between the Pandavas and Indra, and it showcased their divine favor and acknowledgement of the Pandavas as worthy warriors. Indra also realized that the Pandavas, they are no less persons. They are also great heroes, and they can also challenge Indra. And all these reinforced their status among the demigods, the status of the Pandavas, and allowed for greater divine support in their future endeavors. Later on, they would support them, and especially as they faced powerful adversaries. This was the reason. And question number three: what events led to Mayadanava becoming friend with Arjuna, and how did their friendship evolve after the incident in the Khandava forest? Mayadanava and Arjuna became friends primarily through the act of Arjuna saving Mayadanava from the flames during the burning of the Khandava forest. And this act of heroism built a strong bond based on gratitude and mutual respect. Here we have to remember that if somebody has done good to us, we have to express our gratitude toward him, and both of them should have mutual respect for each other. This is very important, and their friendship evolved as Maya expressed his gratitude by gifting the assembly hall to Arjuna, which later represented both the bond they shared and the trickery that would unfold in the context of the Kurukshetra war. This we learned. And let us have a 3 minutes break. And during this break, if you have got any questions or comments, you can ask. Now, please
Prabhuji,
remember, just 1 second. During this Khandava this battle, if all of you know, there were other very important personalities also, like Takshak, who was the cause of death for Parikshit Maharaj. He was also staying here. But somehow that day he had gone to Banaras. That's why he was not affected. But his wife and son, they got killed in this forest fire. Okay, any comments, Radha Vinod Prabhuji?
yeah, Prabhuji, so somewhere you explain us the Mahayadana was saved, Agni and Indra's enmity with basically either Agnidev or he cannot be enmity with Agnidev because Indra reports to Agnidev, right? Sorry, Agnidev reports to Indra. That hierarchy. So Maya Dano, that particular circle, I don't understand. Maybe help us to all
No,
three.
no, you see, when the fight took place, Indra, he intervened. He did not
Okay.
want that forest to be burned.
Hmm.
But with his skills, Arjuna was able to avoid.
So Arjuna was able to burn the fire, burn the forest.
He was able to burn the forest, but during burning, Mayadana was saved by Arjuna. That's why he became his friend.
Okay. Okay. And do we know the reason why Indra does not wanted to, want to protect that fire? He has special relation with the forest.
No, that forest was very, very dear to him. It was his forest.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Any other question or comment?
प्रभु जी अर्जुन जो है वो इंद्र का ही बेटा है ना प्रभु जी?
Yes, Arjuna
तो
was.
फिर वो बेटे को हेल्प करने की बजाय वो फाइट करता है.
You see in the Govardhan Leela, he came, he prayed, he did Abhishek and all that. He accepted his mistake, and thereafter also he keeps on committing these mistakes. That is because why all these things happened? Because Indra, he is the demigod's king, and as demigods, they are to enjoy. So with that mentality, he is there. That's why all these things will happen to him. They are also devotees, but they forget about devotion. Like later on, he would fight with Krishna for the Parijata tree. Like this, there are so many contradictions.
Yes, प्रभु जी. इंदिरा इज ऑलवेज फियर ऑफ हिज पोजीशन. वो उनकी गद्दी के लिए बहुत ही पॉजिटिव थे.
Yes. Okay, we will go to the next slide. Okay. Now we'll talk about Kalindi and Mitrabinda. Now Krishna visited the Pandavas in Indraprastha and learnt about Kalindi, the daughter of the sun god, who had performed severe penances to attain him. Understanding her devotion, Krishna approached her through Arjuna, as Kalindi, recognizing him as her desired husband. He lifted her onto his chariot and married her. And Kalindi's intense penance and desire for Krishna symbolize the soul's yearning for the divine. If one is burning with desire for the Supreme Lord will come in front of the devotees. There is no doubt about that. And there are so many examples in Bhagavatam. This is one of them. Her marriage, a result of her sincere devotion, is a powerful testament to the transformative power of love. It teaches that genuine spiritual aspiration leads to divine union, inspiring us with the potential of our own devotion. That means we have to be perfect in our devotion. Then we will be able to purchase the Supreme Lord. As Supreme Lord also tells in the 11th canto, Aham Bhakta Paradhina. I am not independent. I am under the control of my devotees. Which devotees? The pure devotees, not normal devotees. The pure devotees, they control him. Whatever they say, that will happen. And Krishna has to obey that. There is no choice for him. And that's what amount of respect he gives to the devotees. Then Mitravinda, during her Swayamvara, there where she was to choose Krishna as her husband, her brothers Vindhya and Anubindya, who shared the throne of Avanti and were followers of Duryodhana, forbade her from selecting Krishna. Despite this, Krishna forcibly took her away before the eyes of rival kings, demonstrating his determination and love. Like what happened during what time? He had done this earlier also. When? Anybody?
Rukmini.
Rukmini, yes. And he would do later on also, this story will come to know. And Krishna's act of forcibly taking Mitravinda despite her brother's opposition signifies the transcendence of social norms and familial ties in the pursuit of divine love. It illustrates that love for the divine can sometimes defy conventional expectations, and that the true devotee will always find a way to unite with the devotees. Now, since time is there, I'll tell you the longer story also. Now, what happened, sent by his friend Arjuna, Arjuna approached this young woman, that is Kalindi. Now the question is, why Krishna sent Arjuna to see Kalindi? Now Krishna wanted Arjuna to see the deep devotion of this girl, and thus he asked him to make the initial inquiries. Later on, he would also go. Then Arjuna, what he did when he met Kalindi, he said, he asked her, whose daughter are you, and where do you come from, and what are you doing here? I think you must be looking for a husband. Please explain everything to me. Now then Kalindi said that I am the daughter of the sun god. I desire to get as my husband the most excellent and magnificent Lord Vishnu, and to that end I am performing severe penances. Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that Kalindi correctly understood that Lord Vishnu is the source of all benedictions and is the supreme husband and can thus fulfill all the desires of his wife. Then she says that I will accept no husband other than him. And in the comments, what Srila Prabhupada says, Kalindi here reveals some apprehension. She insists that she will not accept any husband except Lord Krishna, and she states that Krishna is the shelter for those who have no other master. Since she will accept no other shelter, Krishna must give her shelter. Now, this is very, very important. May that Supreme Lord be pleased with me. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tries to say that, points out that although Kalindi is a young, helpless girl staying in a secluded place, she is not afraid. And this turns faith in the devotion of Krishna and the ideal Krishna consciousness, and Kalindi's desire will soon be fulfilled. And then what she says, I am Kalindi and I live in a mansion built by my father inside Yamuna, and there I'll stay until I meet Lord Achyuta. Now, since Kalindi was a beloved child of the sun god himself, who dared to disturb her? And from this incident, we can appreciate the beautiful spiritual process executed in previous ages by great souls. Unlike the so-called love in worldly love affairs, beautiful Kalindi's love for Krishna was pure and perfect. Even though Kalindi was a tender young girl, her determination to marry Krishna was so strong that she arranged for her father to build her a house in Yamuna, where she would perform severe austerities until the day her beloved come there. And then Arjuna came back and repeated all these words to Krishna. And as you know, Krishna was already aware of it. And then Krishna took Kalindi onto his chariot and went back to King Yudhishthira. Now, then the Kalindi was married to Krishna later on. And then the next story, what is given in this slide. Now, Vindhya and Anuvindhya, who shared the throne of Avanti, and they were follower of Duryodhana. Then, when the time came for the marriage of their sister, to select a husband in the Swayamvar ceremony, they forbade her to choose Krishna, although she was attracted to him. Now the feelings of enmity between the Kurus and the Pandavas were so strong that Mitravinda's brothers, out of friendship for Duryodhana, forbade the young maiden to accept Krishna as her husband. Then, as you know, he forcibly took away Mitravinda before the eyes of the evil kings. Now, then what happened? Nagnajit, Nagnajit was the king of Kosala, and he had a beautiful daughter named Satya. Satya's other name is also Nagnajiti because she was the daughter of King Nagnajit. That's why her name was also Nagnajiti. Now the kings who came as competitors were not allowed to marry her unless they could subdue 7 sharp-horned bulls, and these bulls were extremely ferocious and uncontrollable, and they could not tolerate even the smell of warriors. Now, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of the Vaishnavas, heard that princess was to be won by the conqueror of the bulls, he went to the capital of Kosala with a large army. Now, the king of Kosala, he was very much pleased to see Krishna, and he worshipped Krishna by raising from his throne and offering him a seat. And Krishna also greeted the king respectfully. And when the king's daughter saw that Krishna has arrived, she immediately desired to have him. And she prayed, may he become my husband. And if I have kept all my vows, may the sacred fire bring about the fulfillment of my all hopes. And this happened, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments that Princess Satya prayed, how can I please that person who appears in various transcendental forms within this material world whenever there is a necessity of upholding the principles of religion? He is now present before me in the original spiritual form. And then what happened? The Supreme Lord, he chose to abduct him from the assembly, and later on married her. Now, to ascertain the proper husband for his daughter, he told Krishna that we previously set a condition of this, as I told you, the 7 powerful bulls. Now the question is, if the king knew that the Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is so great, why had he kept that unique challenge for his daughter Swayamvar? Now, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the king's actual purpose in setting up the test was to obtain Krishna as the son-in-law, since only he would be able to subdue the bulls. Without such a test, it would have been difficult for King Nagnajit to refuse the many apparently qualified princes and kings who came to ask for his daughters in marriage. And we know what happened. And regarding this, Sridhar Swami also says that Krishna expanded himself into 7 forms, not only to playfully defeat the 7 bulls, but also to show Princess Satya that she would not have to compete with other queens, since he would enjoy with all of them simultaneously. And this, we know the story, what happened. And in the marriage, what the king had given, he gave 9 lakh elephants, 9 crore horses, and how many servants? 900 crore men servants. Now, please remember that the present day population of the earth is approximately 821 crores. Then, do you think this can be true? We'll discuss this in the question answer session. And also, there are many things which are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Can we believe them? Like Chitraketu, who later became Vratrasura, he had 1 crore wives. All these things can they be true? We'll learn about them. Then we will go to the next slide. Okay. Satya Nagnajiti. King Nagnajit of Kausalya had a unique challenge for any suitor wishing to marry his daughter. They had to subdue 7 ferocious bulls. Krishna, with his divine strength, expanded himself into 7 forms to easily tame the bulls, thus winning Satya's hand in marriage. Then the challenge of taming 7 bulls presents the trials and tribulations that one must overcome on the spiritual path. Krishna's ability to conquer these obstacles not just through his own strength, but through divine grace, emphasizes that divine grace empowers devotees to overcome their difficulties. Therefore, we should always depend on the Supreme Lord. It reflects the idea that spiritual strength and determination, when coupled with divine grace, are crucial for achieving one's divine goals. There should be no doubt. And Krishna's marriage to Bhadra, the daughter of his parental aunt Sudakruti, occurred when her brothers, headed by Santardana, offered her to Krishna. And this alliance was straightforward, reflecting familial bonds and mutual respect. The straightforward nature of Krishna's marriage to Bhadra highlights the importance of family and community in spiritual life. It suggests that a divine relationship can flourish within the framework of mutual respect and familial bonds, reminding us of the warmth and support of our own communities in our spiritual journeys. We should stay together. We should not fight with anybody. We should consider the Supreme Lord as one of our family members. We should establish one of the relations with the Supreme Lord and be very devoted to Him, totally dependent on Him, totally have faith on Him. Then He will be helping us. Then what happened? Then later on, Krishna would marry Lakshmana, the daughter of the king of Madra, that is in South India. We can call the area of Madras. Now Krishna appeared alone at the Swayamvar ceremony and took away, just as Garuda once stole the demigod's nectar. And Lord Krishna also acquired thousands of other wives equal to those when he killed Bhaumasura and freed the beautiful maidens the demon was holding captive. Next slide. Well, at a Swayamvara, Krishna arrived alone and took away Lakshmana away, just as Garuda had stolen the nectar from the demigods. This act highlighted his divine charisma and the ability to attract the hearts of his devotees. He always attracts the heart of his devotees. That's why he is known as Krishna. And Krishna's act of taking Lakshmana away during her Swayamvara exemplifies the irresistible allure of the divine. It symbolizes how true love for God descends competition and rivalry, making us feel the overwhelming love for God. And this marriage teaches that the soul's ultimate fulfillment lies in surrendering to the divine will, underscoring Krishna's role as the ultimate protector and lover of his devotees. These points are repeated again and again in each and every case. We have to be totally dependent on Krishna because he is the only protector and nobody is our protector. And overall, Krishna's marriages exemplify the multifaceted nature of divine love, underscoring that spiritual relationships are characterized by devotion, sacrifice, and overcoming obstacles. These are present in all the events. and they illustrate the principle that material conditions do not limit the divine, and that true love for God can lead to liberation and fulfillment. The Lord has no limitation like all of us. He can do anything and everything. And if we have this faith, He will fulfill this. And each marriage also serves as a reminder of the individual soul's journey toward unity for the Supreme, underscoring the profound connection between the devotee and the divine. Now we go to the instructive questions. What specific qualities of Krishna make him the ultimate protector and lover of his devotees? This we have been hearing in almost all the cases. What was the reason? Now, Krishna embodies qualities such as compassion. He is always compassionate to each and everybody in this material world. Even if he is not a devotee, still then he has got compassion for him. And wisdom, he has got all the knowledge. Strength is the most powerful. Nobody can be more powerful than him. And irresistible charm, which makes him the ultimate protector and lover of his devotees. These are some of the qualities for which the devotees love Krishna. And his unwavering support and readiness to respond to the sincere call of the soul creates a profound sense of security and love for those who seek him. The devotees, they should be assured that the complete security and the complete confidence of the Supreme Lord is with them if they behave like devotees. We should be pure devotees for that purpose. And even if we are not pure devotees, we are at a much lesser stage, till then proportionately the Lord is considered to us. And how do the challenges faced by Krishna in each marriage relate to the broader spiritual journey beyond the allegories? The challenges Krishna faced in each marriage reflect the various trials encountered on the spiritual path, such as overcoming societal constraints, personal doubts, or inner struggles. In each case, we saw the societal boundaries are there and they cannot be crossed just like that. The constraints are there. That's why the Lord also has to make some struggle just to show us that, for us to believe that He is like any other common man. But He is the Supreme Lord. He has got all the powers. Now, these allegories serve as reminders that the journey to divine union is often fought with obstacles that require both determination and faith. We have to have a strong determination and strong faith on the Supreme Lord to navigate beyond personal desires and societal pressure. And then, if we have no other desires than the Supreme Lord's mercy, then no societal pressure can force us to do something else, and we will be successful in the end. And but don't think that by no means the devotees, they will not face any obstacles. They will face obstacles, but they will surpass them. They will overcome them because the strength will be given to them by the Supreme Lord. And in what ways can practitioners of this generation apply the lessons from Krishna's marriages to their own spiritual lives? They can apply the lessons from Krishna's marriages by embracing devotion. They should have devotion to the Supreme Lord, recognizing the transformative power of love and understanding that true fulfillment lies in surrendering to the divine will. If the present day generation, they surrender themselves to the Supreme Lord, establish a relationship with the Supreme Lord and love Him, that is loving devotional service, then the Lord will come out openly to help them and encouraging a deep commitment to spiritual practices and fostering a sense of community can help individuals cultivate their own paths and divine connection and fulfillment. Then the next slide. Divine love for Krishna and the devotional resolve for the five princesses needed in defying the odds to attain him as their husband. What difficulties they went through. Now this chapter illuminates the profound devotional determination of the five princesses who undertook severe austerities come penances. Today they demonstrated their unwavering love for him, a love that is truly selfless, inspiring. Because they had selfless love for the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord was available to them, all of them. And what was common about all of them, they had strong determination, and that's why they undertook severe austerities. Now, the intense love expressed by Kalindi and Kunti Devi exemplified that genuine devotion is selfless and seeks union with the divine. This love is not emotional, not just emotional, but transcends physical limitations and societal boundaries. Our love for the Supreme Lord at that stage, it may seem to be emotional, but it transcends that, it is beyond those limitations of the society. And the role of Krishna is the protector and empowerment of his steadfast devotees. Krishna is portrayed as a loving protector who ensures the welfare of those who remember him, demonstrating his divine nature and care for his devotees. That means we should try to always remember him, never forget him. Then we will be able to will be able to recognize or we will be able to feel his mercy. We will be able to see his mercy in us. And Krishna's interaction show that true devotion is characterized by unconditional surrender and trust in the sacred. There should not be any personal hidden meaning in that. And the princess's willingness to endure hardship for Krishna exemplifies this kind of surrender, reinforcing the idea that devotion often requires not only personal sacrifice but also instilling a sense of trust in him. This is very, very important because all the princesses, the five princesses, they married Krishna, they had total trust on him. This trust or faith is very, very important. And Kunti's realization of Krishna's role as the protector indicates the belief that divine grace is essential for overcoming life's challenges. And this reinforces the idea that faith leads to divine intervention and support, offering a beacon of hope against hope in the face of life's trials. Now, what is the main thing? We have to have faith. Faith is very, very important. If we have total faith on the Supreme Lord, then the Lord will be with us. Then the next slide. The marriages involved the courage and strength. Marriages involve tests of strength and valor, symbolizing the trials that must be overcome in the pursuit of love and devotion. And the challenges faced by the suitors symbolize the trials that individuals encounter on their spiritual journeys. Even devotees, they will also encounter problems. And overcoming these challenges is essential for personal and spiritual growth, showing that struggle can lead to divine rewards such as spiritual enlightenment, a deeper connection with the divine, and a sense of inner peace. And the marriages illustrate the union between Krishna and his devotees, emphasizing that true love transcends material concerns and societal norms. If truly one is loving the Supreme Lord, then he or she will be able to conquer anything and everything because the Lord will be in his or her side. The unity of purpose here refers to the shared goal of devotees, which is to attain union with the divine. We should have that desire. We should have that strong desire. What Prabhuji tells, belly and fire in the belly. If it is there, then one day and very soon the Lord will be available to all of us in front of us. And Krishna's ability to marry multiple processes without diminishing his love for each one, reflects the idea that divine can simultaneously engage with many devotees. Not only that one devotee is dear to the Lord and the other is not, it is not that. All the devotees, they are dear to the Supreme Lord, and he also reciprocates that way, and this offers insights to the nature of the sacred, which is limitless and accompanying, accommodating to all who seek it. And in conclusion, Krishna's actions are framed as playful, showcasing his divine Leela or pastimes, which serve to attract and engage his devotees. All these things we are reading in Srimad Bhagavatam, these are to attract us. And through the angle of vision of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's amazingly insightful commentary, the practitioners of devotion are invited to reflect on the qualities of genuine devotion. We should recognize what is actual devotion. Actual devotion is approaching the Supreme Lord without any ulterior motive. Now, the significance of divine protection and spiritual growth that results from overcoming life's challenges. And the last slide, the instructive questions and their answers. What specific austerities did the princesses undertake to demonstrate their devotion to Krishna? All of them, as we saw, they were devoted to Krishna and they undertook austerities. Now, the specific austerities undertaken by the princesses to demonstrate their devotion to Krishna included fasting, meditation, rigorous penance, which exemplified their commitment and love to him. And we should also practice the same thing. Fasting means fasting on the Ekadasi, which is Krishna's day, Haribasara. Meditation, meditating on the Supreme Lord, if possible, 24 hours in a day. And rigorous penance. Penance means we should follow all the rules and regulations which are set by our Sampradaya Acharya and in the scriptures. And these practices not only tested their physical endurance, but also depended their spiritual connection with the divine. And how Krishna's playful actions or Leela influence the nature of devotion expressed by his followers. Krishna's playful actions of Leela serve to illustrate the approachable and relatable nature of the divine. This playful engagement invites devotees to experience a personal relationship with him, fostering a sense of joy and intimacy in their devotion. That means we should establish a personal relationship with the Supreme Lord, the various relationships that you know, important, four of them. And rather than perceiving the divine as distant or abstract, like the Jnanis, Krishna Lila emphasizes that true devotion can be both profound and joyful. And the third question, in what ways can the devotees today apply the lessons of courage and strength illustrated in the suitors' challenges to their own spiritual journey? How? By recognizing that spiritual growth often requires facing and overcoming obstacles upfront through the incredible power of one's rock solid determination, zeal, and needed sacrifices to attain one's goal. Please remember that you may be at whatever level, you may be a great devotee, but still the obstacles will come. And to them, we should have solid determination, we should have zeal, and we should be we should be ready to sacrifice many things. And then what will happen? Recognizing that there is no gain without pain. When the going gets tougher, the tougher gets going, and on the rewards are proportionately higher depending upon how tough the task one faces in life. Now will be awarded, will be rewarded proportionately by the Supreme Lord at every stage. And by embracing challenges as opportunities or learning and transformation, individuals can develop resilience and deepen their faith. We should deepen our faith on the Supreme Lord, ultimately drawing closer to the divine through perseverance and trust. We should work hard, have total trust in the Supreme Lord, and then only we will be able to reach the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord, He will be very, very happy with all of us. This is what is the essence of Krishna marrying the five princes. Now the session is open for question and answers.
Perfect timing, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, wonderful narration. So the last few minutes, like the point you stress upon, like we should have that faith and Shraddha, right? That's Shraddha, Sadhusang and all. So,
Yes.
the development of faith is like is the key question here, right? Like, so maybe if you can elaborate a bit more on your personal experience also, like how do we improve our faith, Prabhu? Because I think one thing that lacking is the faith. Like that's sometimes, I mean, we do have, but to become more stronger or to progress, I think faith is one thing that definitely needs to nurture. So how do we do that, Prabhu? Whatever you can share from your personal experience will be helpful.
Okay. The question is how we can develop faith. Like I was giving the examples in the marriage, the king gave 990 crore men servants. Or in Chitraketu's marriage, Chitraketu had 1 crore wives. Now, can anybody believe such things to be true? They are actually unbelievable. But still, we as the devotees, we should remember that because it is given in the Shastra, Shastra is never right and never wrong. And Shastra, these are the words of the Supreme Lord, they are true. That means whatever is given in the Shastra, without any ifs and buts, we should accept them as true. And that is what is, and that we should accept it in our intelligence. Now, when we say, I believe, I have trust, this is Vachika in words. And suppose we prostrate before the Supreme Lord, and that is Kaika, by the body. But they are not so important. The most important thing is by accepting all these things by our intelligence. And intelligence, how? The first logic you should give it is whatever is given in the Shastras, whatever is spoken by the sadhus, by our acharyas, they are right and they are not under you cannot disbelieve them. Even if they seem to be unbelievable, they are still true. We should have total faith on them. That way we'll be able to accept, and that way we'll be able to improve our faith on the Supreme Lord. Like you see so many instances, and I'll give you one example. Like we are chanting every day, and it is said that if you just chant Krishna's name just once, all your sins they get nullified. Then why we are told to chant throughout our lifetime? Because to increase that faith, to deepen that faith, we are doing this. And we should have faith. We should believe on the Shastras. We should believe on the spiritual master. We should believe on our previous acharyas. And that way we'll be able to train our intelligence to have faith on the Supreme Lord. balance of the things, I'll request Charu Prabhuji to say something on this. How we can improve our faith on the Supreme Lord.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Where does the faith come from? Faith comes from the heart, right? Everybody knows that. Faith develops, originates from one's heart. Okay. Now, I'll give one practical example. How do you develop faith? See, if you have suffering from some medical condition, okay, and doctor prescribes a particular medicine, okay, if the medicine works, then only you develop trust, right? The faith, oh, this is really great medicine. If it doesn't work, then you don't get faith in that medicine. So this devotional service is like that, you have to really understand, first of all, Shastra, one should have a faith because that is the word of the Supreme, as Prabhuji just mentioned there, So we have to have that. And how do we know that, that it will work or not? Somebody said that, show me the Supreme Person. Can he come in front of me? Then I'll believe, then I'll faith. But first you have to also realize, just practical example, you want to see a prime minister, you want to see a president. Would that materialize? No, because you have to develop a particular qualification for that. So then only you will be able to understand that. So Supreme Being also like that. We are not qualified to see him. Even if he comes in front of us, we won't recognize him. Many times when Krishna was there, many people did not realize Krishna is the Supreme Person. Okay. Only through devotional service, bhaktya mam abhijanati. So faith develops by practicing devotional service. Then you will see in your personal life what Krishna can do wonders. When you trust him that he will come, and he will definitely come. कहते ना भगवान के घेर देर है अंधेर नहीं है. So like that, so faith will develop like that, and then faith can be strengthened by devotee association. Those who have actually experienced the Lord and his mercy, his blessings in their lives. So the same way, when you associate with the devotees, that kind of faith and the taste for hearing Krishna Katha. See, Bhagavad में वो एक श्लोक है ना, I always repeat it 17 to 21, right? But the 16th slok is also very important. First canto, second chapter, text 16. Sushrushro sadadhanasya Vasudev Katha Ruchi. Right? That we are. So by actually associating with the Lord, the taste for hearing Krishna Katha will come. And more you experience hearing about that, more and more faith will develop in that. Because Krishna will, in many different ways, he will show his presence in your life. I've seen in my own life like that also. In the beginning, I was the toughest critic of Krishna in my younger days. My mother used to say, "Beta, धीरज रखो, time आएगा तुम समझ पाओगे." And my mother's words exactly came true. Now I've been preaching Krishna consciousness. Look at that time when I was young, I did not have that kind of, faith in Krishna. I was thinking that, oh, Krishna always enjoyed his life. He had 16,000 wives, How can he be like that, So all these things will come only through association, my mother's wishes. My mother was my first guru actually in my life. She introduced Krishna consciousness when I was young and very, very kind of, thinking that it has to be in my own ways like that, So that kind of attitude, that humility must be developed to have a particular faith in that Krishna and all what it says in Shastra, Now, again, the remaining, depending upon the number that we hear, which sounds unbelievable, And that also sometimes our acharyas explain that also you have to take it in a sense of spirit actually. It's a sense, not necessarily the fact itself. So that is also one has to wonder about that. It's not like that it's given wrong, but it's like that a frog in a well. That story you all know that the frog thinks that well is the ocean for him. Okay, in reality that is true, but what is the real ocean, that frog doesn't know. But by comparison, a yardstick when is given that this is what is like that, just imagine if that's one. So in the life also, whatever this happened in Krishna's time, at that time situation is quite different. You cannot compare with your present standards. As Prabhuji gave an example, the present population of the United for the whole world is about 8 billion. Okay, so how can that be this millions and billions like that? But you don't know what was the time there in that kind of situation. Krishna had 16,100 wives, and each of them had their own palace. Each of them had thousands of servants in this city of Dwarka in the ocean, like an island in the ocean. So again, that also sounds unbelievable, right? But this is Krishna. Time, space, he can bend the way, whatever the way he wants. Okay, so you cannot compare with the present standards. Just like frog in the well, he has no comparison what the real ocean looks like, because he is dogmatized where he stays. So we are all dogmatized. We compare our present situation, and we have no idea what happened in the past, what will happen in the future. So then when you don't know yourself, then you trust someone who has that faith. So that's what it is. I'm sorry, I spoke too long about that.
Thank you,
But I
Prabhu.
hope you got the gist.
No, that was wonderful, Prabhu, and reassuring. I just have one more follow-up question to the relevance, and it will be a short one.
Yeah.
We often hear sadhu sangha, or as you said, association of devotees is very, very key element or important one. Now,
Yeah.
somehow or other, we are in a situation, at least I'm speaking for myself, that the personal association is bit limited or constrained. However, like you have like this weekly class we meet, there's a lot of virtual association and connect, right? And also I also hear a lot of other YouTube and other lectures and keep following. So is that okay? Like, is that considerable or
Sometimes,
it is?
one does see, Prabhupada always said that, right? You don't read every books and everything like that. Then you'll get confused. Okay.
No. When I
So
say books, it's all about Srila Prabhupada book only. There's nothing outside.
yeah.
It's all
So one has to
what we
the
do.
same way like that. If you watch some YouTube, you always should everything that is given in the YouTube is never correct.
No. Even when I say YouTube, it's all our own. Like we brought, it's all ISKCON related. Nothing.
So it is. You have to understand from that point of view also.
Yeah.
The same way hearing lectures from different sampradayas or different people, all these things, they are all. It's not saying they're wrong. From their perspective, they're right. Okay, but from our perspective, if we try to compare that, then you'll get confused about it.
No, bro. Whatever I follow is all clear. Only there's no
Exactly, yeah.
deviation. Only ISKCON. Only our ISKCON lectures, like our Radhanath Swami Maharaj, or sometimes
Yes.
Vaishya
Even
Prabhu.
within ISKCON, different acharyas will say different things, seemingly different things, but they're all right from the different perspectives that they talk about it. Even from our own within ISKCON also, even some different lecturers. Let's say Sharad Prabhu presents certain things I may present, certain things you present. They're not necessarily exactly same way, but we all speak the truth. We all speak the truth from a different perspective, from different angle of vision. So you have to give a certain kind of leeway in that, The basic fact is to be presented that way, okay? But everybody presents it from their own life experiences. We all have different life experiences, and that somehow molds our thinking also. Somehow accepting certain things in a certain way, we all have that, It doesn't mean that somebody's wrong and somebody's right. So Krishna also, his own perspective, he gives different angle of vision to different devotees. depending upon certain grades, certain more experienced devotees have a different kind of viewpoints. Like Surdas, you all know Surdas, right? Bhajans. Surdan was a blind from the birth. Even then, Krishna's pastimes, he could exactly visualize and describe in his poems, in his bhajanas. Because Krishna is the outer eyes, ears, everything is there, just outer outlets. Real indriyas, real senses are internal, and that goes with us when the soul leaves this body and goes to another body. All these internal senses also go with him. So the different perspectives one has to understand from that point of view. And the time and space, you have to give concession that also. Don't compare it with your present situation. Otherwise, you'll be confused about that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Uh,
Just to add one point for the Sanjay Prabhuji. Okay. So I'm just hearing the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever, okay, virtual conversations, association you have, Sanjay Prabhuji. Okay. It will not
Yes, sir.
equate, okay, with the physical association. Okay. I heard multiple sessions, okay, from the direct satsangs. Okay. Direct association, direct satsangs will not equivalent with the Zoom association for sure. Because most of the devotees switch off the camera and multiple tasks could happen, multiple discussions could happen in family. Okay. Because of that reasons, physical association is very important. Okay. And to increase the faith, that is definitely playing a vital role. Okay. This is my personal experience, Prabhu. Forgive me if I'm saying something wrong. Yeah.
No,
You're right.
Visiting temple.
You're
Okay.
absolutely right.
Yeah. Visiting temple. Okay. Visiting devotees personally, interacting with them, okay, is essential. YouTube will not replace, Zoom will not replace, Prabhu. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's right.
Participating, visiting near temple. You are in Bangalore, Prabhu. There are so many congregations are there in Bangalore. Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
And another thing, we are talking about faith. I'll just give one point. There is a connection between faith and healing also. Like somebody is suffering from a disease and the doctor gives some medicine. And if the patient does not have faith on that medicine will not work properly. That means the same medicine will heal somebody, it will not be able to heal somebody else. This is also there, and this is the doctors, they believe that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely correct.
I agree, Prabhu.
And
Yes.
and when you're visiting a doctor, you visit a virtual doctor, you visit a physical doctor. Okay, there will be a lot of difference. Yeah. I mean, virtual doctor, there is no actually attachment or connection. If you see, yeah, it's just like a 5 minutes Zoom call. Today there is so much of virtual calls. Okay, even for a consultancy point of view in India, but like it doesn't establish any kind of relation between the patient and doctor. Yeah. So we maintain a consistent doctor, a general physician. Yeah. So that establishes the connection. It's exactly similar. Thank you, bro.
I don't fully agree with you on this. They may not be same, but they are similar and they have got a lot of advantages, like associating virtually with the devotees. It is not possible to physically associate with the devotees, go to the temples for anybody and everybody. That is not possible. But still then, if you go through the proper procedure, you attend or you listen to the authorized speakers, then you will be benefited. But you should have faith on that. There are some other things also, like what Prabhuji was saying, the different faiths, they will have different conclusions. You should have that discrimination in you to separate them and try to understand. Like many of the things you would have realized, we initially thought they were wrong, but when explained with the correct examples, then you realize, no, what was saying, what I was thinking wrong, that is not wrong. It is explained in this way because we do not know the complete story. we are benefited. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah. Virtual sessions definitely benefit, Prabhu. There is absolutely no doubt. But like for a mature devotees, very mature devotees, okay, even if the physical association is not there, it helps. But like the devotees like me, okay, very novice devotees, okay, just started the devotion practice. Physical association definitely brings lot of difference. That is the only my point, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
With our guru, the guru, everybody. So my guru had 10,000 disciples, right? We all wish a personal association with guru, right? The guru, what did my Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj said that to me? That Vani and Vapu, Vapu means physical presence. Sometimes that is not possible, but then his instructions, either given through these lectures, in olden times, Prabhupada used to tapes, the old cassettes that we all experience, right? We used to use cassette and hear Prabhupada's lectures like that. So sometimes that also, from a practical sense, one has to wonder. So you cannot insist that I must have a personal association with my guru, then I will experience better. It doesn't work that way exactly. It's impossible practically. So these Zoom lectures, the way we conduct these courses, how in the different parts of the world, in reality, it's not possible. But we've been able to do it with this present technology, Zoom technology, everything. It has certain virtues. It is not exactly like personally seeing each other in the same class. Then we have to expand our vision in that. Our thinking also has to be expanded in that regard, actually, So, with Prasad Prabhu, I have very high regard. He's a very humble person. When he says that I'm a novice, don't don't kid what he says. He is a fairly advanced devotee, the way he speaks, the way he expresses certain things, you can tell he has a much wider experience in everything. But because of his humility, he says like that. So, in that regard, Prabhuji, just like Sharad Prabhuji said that I don't completely agree with you, but in a sense, what you said, personal association is always better. But one has to think practical way also, which is not possible. Ultimately, what you want to achieve, Krishna consciousness, that either way, whatever that is way possible, then you must adopt it. So one should never be dogmatized. As a scientist, one thing I learned in my early years, being a scientist, never question whether it is possible or not. Why is it not possible? Always like that. Think like that. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you
प्रभु
all of
जी
you.
एक
Very
प्रभु जी एक पॉइंट है इसमें कि अगर हम वर्चुअली भी करते हैं तो मतलब हम इतना टाइम इतना अच्छे से दे पाते हैं तो और हम कुछ सीखते ही है। अगर नहीं होता ये सब तो हम लोग कितना टाइम वेस्ट करते। वी आर सो मच एवरी सैटरडे संडे वी आर फोकस्डली हम लोग टाइम अब इतना इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं अच्छे से और श्रीमद् भागवतम को सर्व कर सकते हैं। राइट प्रभु जी? अदरवाइज अगर ये क्लास नहीं होता तो हम कितना वेस्ट।
From the comfort you're in your homes, we have been able to hear all these things, right? Look at,
Yes,
even though it's a virtual association, how much personal feelings we have for each other.
Yes,
now you see
Prabhuji.
my brother in a hospital, very critical condition. Why do I share with all of you? Have you ever thought about it?
It increases the personal bonding
because
also,
I consider
Prabhuji.
all of you my own very my inner self, every one of you. That's why I share with all of you. So practically, personally, it's not possible to see all of you. So we make use of whichever Daraji said that yene kene prakarane. If you develop love for Krishna, then you adopt it. Doesn't matter it's personal or not. So same way, Krishna, you realize just chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is not in front of you, but you develop the faith they're chanting, you will feel the presence, his presence right here. That's why the Swarasiki meditation, remember when the gopis were suffering in pain from his separation from him, what did he say, the message that he sent through Uddhava? That you just meditate on the time we spend together. You meditate, by my potency, I will be there right in front of you. You'll feel my presence. So he trusts Krishna's words like that. Krishna was not personally there, but gopis started thinking about him and they felt a great peace at that, So you don't outrightly minimize the importance of this present day technology. Is by all Krishna's grace that we have been able to do. Who knows in our grandchildren's generation what kind of technology will be there? People might be corresponding on some kind of technology with other planets and other star systems. That time will come. Other galaxies, we'll be all be interacting people with them, Hare Krishna. So Prasad,
Very true,
you need to also expand your horizon, thinking horizon, pardon me, Prasad Prabhuji, I'm not criticizing
Thank you, Prabhu. This was
I'm
very,
just telling
very
you.
No,
interesting.
Prabhu. Actually, I got another call, just disconnected for 2 minutes, Prabhu, and rejoined.
Okay, that's all right. Sanjeev Prabhu, what you were saying?
So this was very, very relevant and helpful conversation for me. So Prashad Prabhu, I do agree that there is no alternative or replacement for the impact of physical association. That part is
Absolutely,
not
Prabhu.
no
Absolutely.
question at all.
Absolutely.
Now, what happens? See, it is a very, very personal example or situation. That's why I asked
Prabhu,
this.
once in a week, Prabhu. You don't need to
that
connect devotees every day,
happens.
Prabhu. Once in a
That is
week,
not,
physical association.
that is
Okay.
not a
I
question.
impacted heavily, Prabhu, without that.
Yeah, so there is.
Devotees, do you know what thing? Otherwise, I'd like to share with you. You know how this online preaching started? It is who is responsible for that? Is that Sanjeev Prabhuji, right? You see him right here. He is the one who introduced me to this online preaching. At that time, I was teaching in the classes in our local temple only. He is the one suggested to me, why don't we do this? You remember, Sanjeev Prabhuji, your words at the beginning?
Yes, yes.
You introduced me to this mode that whatever we are enjoying today, this virtual preaching and virtual conducting classes, the credit goes to Sanjeev Prabhuji. He had that far vision. He had that far vision. Otherwise, this would not have taken place.
Okay, and that okay, it's all your. But so I wanted to share something with Prasad Prabhu. So what happened, Prabhu, in my personal situation in Japan, when we had a very good close and intimate association of devotees, very close. Like there were few of us, and we were very close, and we were very focused that okay, we have to get a temple in Japan. We worked through, and I was part of it, and it worked out well. So now after moving to Bangalore, it is not like there is no association, but there is a bit different. It's like an ocean here. There's an ocean of devotees, right? You go there, you get nice kirtan and all, but still that, personal touch is, it takes time, right? It takes time to nurture and build that. And all are wonderful devotees here. It's nothing like, so that's where so going there and then the responsibilities, everything have changed. That might be an excuse. So what really helps is this kind of classes. And often whenever I get time, I tune into all the online channels. And they are all Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON channel, nothing outside. I am very clear about that. So that's why I was just seeking the validity for this. So I think what we have a conclusion here is obviously nothing can replace the personal association, but where it is not possible or where it is constrained due to any situation, the virtual association, if done with full consciousness or with full attention, will have the same impact. Yeah. So that's what we can do. So thank you.
Just so I want to add one point, Prabhu, last point,
Sure.
okay, on this particular topic, because this is very important topic, Prabhu. Okay. Like what I'm hearing from all the sessions, okay, through the physical association is one point is you should have at least a few devotees where you share your heart, Prabhu. Okay, what kind of challenges you are facing? Yeah, and that kind of personal rapport, at least few, one or two devotees, that will increase the faith. Okay, and devotion.
Agree.
What kind of challenges you are facing? Okay, and
There even ISKCON has now evolved a lot.
Yeah.
When we started, there was nothing. Now there is Bhakti Center. There is a mentor. You must have a. I think there's a term we have, right? A
Prabhuji, there
mentor.
are counselor system, cultivator system,
Devotee care system.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's amazing. So
Devotee
whenever
care
I go,
system,
okay,
that's
which
right.
Bhakti Vriksha group you're part of? Who's your mentor? I was like, oh my God, I'm lost. I don't know. Don't know these concepts. Like, so, but it's good. You're right that we have to associate, we have to find, and then we have
In
to
our congregation, we have devotee care service group, Prabhu. Okay, yeah, that actually helps, connects together. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So this was helpful. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Now we have come to the end of the time. Now we can have the Nrusingha prayers.
Archana Mataji, please.
Yes, yes. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Daine. Prahlad Daine. हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कानखालये इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह भय नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह भय नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नखामधुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनूभृङ्ग केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा dear devotees. I hope I had pronounced the words properly in my bhajan today, Prabhu, Sharad Prabhu.
Perfect.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes. Mataji,
Perfect.
Yes, Mataji and Aarti Bai is in Tarasaptak, high pitch note. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the bhajan, the beginning.
yes,
That was
Mataji, it was in Odia, but you
Yeah.
pronounced it perfectly.
yeah. Odia is not my language. Diti Mataji and Sharad Prabhu should tell me whether I pronounce properly. Thank
Tomorrow
you.
I'm also doing is Alvek song, Prabhuji.
Salvega. Actually, there is no time. Otherwise, I would have told you the story of Salvega in brief. If I get time, I will tell you.
Prabhuji, tomorrow please karna.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, all the devotees. All glories to the devotees. Now we'll meet tomorrow for lesson 96. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji, for
Thank you,
so
Prabhuji.
wonderful class. Thank you,
Thank
Chara
you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
May
Thank
all
you, Prabhu. Thank you so
Dandavat
much.
pranam to all devotees.
Thank you.